We're here at the Classic Ford Show 2026 down at the South of England Showground, and as ever, Simon Willey, the editor of Classic Ford magazine, has brought 5 debut cars, never been seen before, unveiled for the first time here at the Classic Ford Show. So let's cue the Great Unveiling.
The Great Unveiling! There we go. My favourite part of the show, I don't mind saying to you, James, this is where we strip bare the work that some wonderful people have put in and kept secret all year, maybe beyond that. In fact, some of the stories go way back many, many years, sir. And we're going to reveal their wonderful work and we're going to reminisce and share the memories. Are we ready for car number 1? Hello, Simon, how are you?
I'm top, thank you.
You're top? That's a bit random, isn't it? Is that because you're mentioning the top 50 in the Queen's building? Did you like that?
Good,
Thank you very
good.
much. Done this before. Neil, how are you?
All good, thank you.
Without saying much yet, you and Kelly have worked very hard on this, correct?
Yep.
That's it. That's all you're getting from him. Nothing more. Thanks for coming. Good night. Take care. Right then. 3, 2, 1, and pill. And I want to know. Yes, you should clap. Wow, memories. Look at this. This is a red Mark II Escort RS2000. I'm going to come to Simon first. Please introduce this wonderful car that's bringing back serious flashback for me.
So this is quite a special car. I mean, Neil and Kelly, who run Panelcraft, I don't think it's fair. It's fair to say they've built some of the best concours escorts in the country. They actually did a car for us 2 years ago, owned by the same guy that owns this one, and this one's just as good, if not better.
Important to you to keep it as close to the original as possible.
Yes.
And how long did this project take? I know it's been a labour of love.
A year and a half.
A year and a half. Is that a long for you, that project, or is that a short time?
Standard.
Standard, of course. Right, talk us through the car very quickly. Let's start at the corner at the very top here. Tell us everything, the main modifications you had to make and the work you had to put into it, Neil.
Everything. So new quarters, new wings, new floor pans, new boat, new inner wings. So yeah, so it's pretty much been done everywhere.
And for the younger audience members, you may not realise this, I'm sure you may well do, but the little tiny touches, little like the stripe. The stripe, that was a very important touch back in the day, wasn't it?
Had to be in the right place.
Had to be and if it's in the wrong place, people notice, am I correct?
Most definitely. You are definitely right.
Even if you were 5 centimetres out, people go, wasn't there, because the stripe was a big feature of cars back then.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you very much for bringing it out there. It is gorgeous on the inside as well.
These are really quite hard to find now because this is a non-custom RS2000. Most people, when they bought one, they had enough money, they'd get the custom version, so you got all the little bit extras. This is what you'd call the base spec version. So even things like the interior, it hasn't got the fishnet seats, it's got what we call the gear seats. So something like this in now is stupidly rare. I haven't seen one like this for a long time.
Well, thank you very much indeed. A round of applause for Neil, please. Amazing. Neil will be around at the end.
Thanks very much, mate.
Well done. Decent job by Phil on the first stripping. Decent job. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I know what this is. It's gonna. Look at that. Oh, the colour. John's going to come and chat to us in a second, but tell us, Simon, all about it, please.
He doesn't want us to tell you who he is, but he's been involved with Anglias for most of his life, I think it's fair to say.
John,
not me. He just knows everything about them, and along with John here, who helped him build it, he's sort of almost kind of put together his idea of like a road-going version of what would be a historic race car.
Now, the colour is extraordinary, and of course it's quite a popular colour for new car owners these days.
Stealth grey, beg your pardon.
Wow, amazing. Right, let's get John in. Hi John, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for bringing it here today. And it got a big ooh when it was revealed. So give us a rough description of what kind of state it was in when you got it, how long it took to kind of restore, and the kind of modifications you had to do.
Right, so this car basically started out with the owner. He's owned it for a few years prior to me getting the car. Yeah, it had been barn stored in a finished state up to painting, but no running gear, nothing like that. So I was a bit humbled really when he asked me if I could actually finish the car for him, which I did after a bit of a deal with him. But so yeah, it's got done. and it's now out of the barn and it's on the stand. It's basically been done as a 60s homage to the race cars of that era. So it's essentially a hill climb car.
Yes.
With the running gear, it's got engine, gearbox, axle. So that plate at the front, if people don't know, that's when it runs through the timing lights for hill climbs. So it'll put a beam across that bar there, and that'll read the timing for the hill climbs. Myself and the owner are actually really happy with the way it's come out. It's a stunning car, it really is. Cherry on the cake for this car is it's running a very rare Hewland 5-speed gearbox.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah, so it's running 997 casing gearbox with 5-speed stuck in there and a reverse. Yeah, and it's interesting driving it, let's put it that way.
It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much for bringing it. You'll be around to ask for people to come and chat and answer questions and stuff.
Sure,
Let's thank John. Thank you very much. Car number 2, everybody.
Thanks, John. Thank
Beautiful,
you.
Simon, beautiful. 3, 2, 1, and ooh, wow, yeah. Were you expecting that colour? No, I wasn't, no, nor was I. What a machine. Oh my gosh, that is of course a beautiful dark blue Anglia 100E, I think. Absolutely stunning by Ashley Carter. Simon, the colour took many people by surprise then, but what a masterpiece this really is.
It's beautiful. I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I've seen this. I've had a few teaser pictures from Ashley, but I'm as blown away as everyone else. It's lovely.
Ashley? Ash, how are you, mate? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, mate. Come and see us. Mate, thank you for bringing this out. You were quite well, you should be quite secretive. That's what all of this is about. You've obviously restored other things. When did this project start? Did it find you or did you find it?
It found us, me and my dad, really. We was looking for something to do together when he'd retired. Yeah. And we bought this 14 years ago.
Where did you find this in the first place?
For a friend. He had it in his back garden.
He had his back garden?
Yeah, he had it. He bought it as a project and didn't get around to doing it. So he's here today somewhere. It's had new outer seals, new rear arches, bits of the bottom of the wings, strut tops. I've tubbed the rear because the back was rotten as well.
Look at the back. Yeah.
Crossflow engine on throttle bodies, Mazda gearbox, shortened Escort axle.
Amazing. But it looks like it's come straight from the 50s. I mean, that is hard, isn't it?
That was the idea. That's what I wanted to do. Try and keep it looking original. So at first glance, it's a standard car.
And if someone was to get in it and not know and turn on the engine, they're going to get a beautiful surprise, are they not?
Hopefully. Not that it runs yet, but it does.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, it looks amazing. Right, let's move on. Thank you very much. Round of applause, please. So far, so good. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yeah, now we're talking. Oh, look at that. Unmistakable car. My dad's favourite car was a Capri. This is the blue silver Capri 2.8i. This one, Simon, put together by the wonderful Chris Graham, of course.
It's beautiful, yeah. It's a really stunning example. I mean, there are some lovely Capri injections around, but this is lovely, really good.
It's amazing. Let's get the man in. Chris, come and say hello. Come and talk to us. Hello, Chris. How are you, mate? Good to meet you. Now, I want to talk to Chris about something else, actually, because what did you have before?
I had an Escort Mark IV.
And you got a chance to swap it, right?
I did indeed. A guy advertised the Capri for a Part X possible. So I decided to go chance my arm and go and speak to the guy and say, would you swap it for my Escorts? His initial reaction was no. I'm not into Escorts. But when he saw the Escort, because I'd got it in good condition, he said, I'll do a swap. Yes.
And it became what it is now?
Yes, I've used it as a daily car up until 2008. This car was used every day, work everywhere, all over the place. And then I stored it away due to work. And it just parked in my garage for 16, 18 years.
It just sits there.
Sat there for 18 years. And
I wish I kept things. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a wonderful story. And that's what this is about, isn't it? It's more than just a car to you. This has been part of your life through the 90s, of course, when we were obviously very well behaved back then, Chris, but obviously through all those years, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, family, yeah. Obviously, my nephew's helped me do all the engine work, so I want to pay some credit to Jamie, my nephew.
Jamie, yeah?
Yeah, he's behind me. He helped me do the engine because he's an engineer as well. He loves this car. This is one of his favourite cars all time.
So now, obviously, so we go back to 2008. You use it, put it away, you got it out, and you made a decision. This could be worth a bit. Plus, it's part of your history. What kind of work did you have to do to restore it?
Well, we started with the engine conversion, so it was on unleaded fuel, because obviously it was pre-leaded fuel back then. And then I just started working my way around the car, just doing the bits that there was rusty. And I started it not with the intention of the repaint, but just to make it good. But then ended up going around the whole car, so it needed a repaint by the time I done. So it's had new wings, wheel arches, fantastic. New wheel arches welded in. Still all its original sills and floor pans, still all good. And the rest of the bodywork is original.
It's a great story, and that's what this show's all about. And you can see it, the way it's been lovingly restored by the same guy that owned it originally. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and also I think it's the best colour scheme for an injection as well.
It really is amazing. I want to thank you for bringing it in. It's brought back some memories for me.
Thank you.
You might have taken me for a spin later. I might whistle out the window again. Why not? Thank you very much, Chris. That's it for Chris. He'll be here.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you very much. I love that. That's so cool. That's some memories. So many memories. It's nuts.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Come on, boys. Come on. Got a nice feel. Oh my Lord. Yeah, there it is. Yes, a round of applause indeed. I give you our Kevin's wonderful goldish Escort Speedster, of course, Project Speedster, absolutely barnstormingly beautiful. Look at that colour, look at that car, amazing. Simon, off you go. Where do you start with that?
Back in the early 90s, Ford seriously considered building this car. They wanted to take on Porsche with the 964 Cabriolet, and so they actually did an Escort RS Cosworth Speedster concept. Sadly, it never got very far, but there were a few sketches and illustrations got done, and so Kevin here has actually made that into reality.
It's amazing. I don't know where to start. I don't even know what the spec is. So let's just talk to the man. How are you, Kev?
Nervous.
There you are. No.
I saw the article in the mid-90s myself. I saw the sketch. I fell in love with it. I thought it'd be great if they ever built it. They never built it. I forgot about the article. The article came out again about 2.5 years ago, and I turned around and said to my friend here, Scott, I love it. He said we should build it. Started life as a Mark 5B Escort Cabriolet, which was hard enough to find because they didn't make too many 5Bs. And then it was stripped to a shell, and basically most of it's custom made. It's running, driving, it's MOT'd. I have to turn around to some of the people behind me here because my upholsterers are here.
Yeah.
My engine builder and mechanic friend is here over the back. I just can't thank enough.
Well done to all of you.
We've put in well over 1,000 hours ourselves into this car, let alone the other people that have done some bits on it. Yeah.
To do something one of one is very rare. We've seen many fiberglass reenactments of various cars of different makes, but very rare does someone actually create what was never created, which is what you've done. So congratulations. It's the final car. Simon, last word for you on this one. What a way to finish the top 5 here.
It's just incredible. Yeah, I mean, people have said they want to build something like this, but from the sketches, I think it's spot on, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for all you bringing. A round of applause, please. It's amazing. Thanks, Simon. Thank you guys very much. Well done.
Thank you.